He needs no introduction. He's the convener of the Linamar plant in South Wales, and we all know he was recently, they made an attempt to sack Rob and get him out of the way. But Rob is no ordinary convener. He's a Socialist Party convener, and the bosses didn't get away with that round. So, Rob Williams.
Comrades, you know, I was watching the telly last week and the TV reporters were outside the Royal Mail talks, and the reporter said this is like something out of the 1970s. And of course they hope that's an isolated case. But they said the same thing about Vistion, about Vestas, about the 2 Lindsay strikes, and about Linamar as well. At what stage did the establishment, but importantly the workers themselves, draw the conclusion that actually this is now becoming the normal state of affairs in Britain? Anyway, the same thing has been said before. Before the 1970s, it was said the workers would fight out a social partnership. In the 60s, there was hardly a national trade union strike because of the post-war boom and so-called social peace. A period of full employment and rising living standards for workers. And yet the 1970s saw a massive rise in trade union militancy as workers fought the boss's attempt to make them pay for the crisis. It sounds familiar. The worst economic crisis since the 1930s has ushered in the biggest assault on all that working class people hold dear since that era. Jobs, terms and conditions, pensions, the welfare state, everything that we have taken for granted is on the line now. The question that millions of workers are asking, can we defend what we have and how do we do it? You see, workers have a choice. We always did have. Face the onslaught on our knees or on our front foot. The signs are good. Vistion and Vestas, Lindsay and Linamar, Royal Mail and of course the other dispute spin workers from Leeds to Brighton. Workers are more prepared to fight because they know the alternative is a catastrophe for their living standards and the future for their family. And certainly in the car industry, but in too many other industries, workers and stewards have been coming up against the full-time officials and the trade union leaders too many times in the boom, let alone the recession. They have seen their role as facilitating cuts in our terms and conditions. And now in their recession, they pride themselves on negotiating pay freezes and cuts. Nothing wrong in workers losing out to the employer, but only if those workers have been prepared to take action. The worst thing is to lose without the fight, because that gives confidence to the boss and the appetite to come back for more, but more importantly, lowers the confidence of our members. I had to remind a national full-time official in the last week or two that it's not workers that close plants, it's the employer. Do you know, why should we apologise for hard-won terms, conditions and pensions? Why should we feel sorry because those in front before us and us ourselves have fought and won and maintained decent jobs with decent terms and conditions? When you go into a battle, the first question that needs to be asked is not what can we give away, but are the members prepared to fight? And if not, can we give those members the confidence to fight? Comrades, I hope that in May and June this year, a little car component factory in Swansea give workers across the country some confidence because of the victory that we won at that time. I won't bore you with all the details of that story, and I've been boring the members in Swansea for a long time about Linamar. Yeah, not just Swansea though. You may have heard of the story. I was sacked, 5 policemen were sent in, the shift walked off the line, and almost 90% of the plant voted for indefinite strike action and with a massive local, national and international campaign, we won my reinstatement because the employer wanted to sack me to break the union to attack our members' terms and conditions. My members faced a simple choice. Roll over, let this vicious employer win, and give them the confidence to smash our contracts. They're back again, as they will always come back again. But this time they face a workforce who've been through a struggle and won. And whatever happens now, we are bound to win more than we would have in June if we'd have lost that battle. Isn't that the lesson of Linamar, like the lessons of Vistian, Lindsay and all the other battles? Workers have a choice, even in this recession. Fight, you might win. Don't fight, you will definitely lose. Comrades, I had a personal choice. Cut and run.